1051.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We have a special guest from the West Coast.
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
The homie Nipsey Hussle.
What up?
What's up, my brother?
Everything good. How you feeling?
You got the Proud to Pay movement going on.
Yeah, man.
You just put out the Crenshaw album.
Yeah.
You my dog, but I just couldn't pay $100 for it.
I seen your tweets, album, man. I had to holler at my boy real quick.
I've been a fan.
But you can still get the album. You don't have to do that.
I didn't know that.
It's free.
Nah, it was
if you
my
want the
choice.
hard copy.
Yeah, it was my choice for sure.
It's like a Kickstarter campaign. If you want to support somebody and donate money to the movement, kind of thing. And you also get an experience with it.
Exactly. You get access to the concert. It's like a limited concert. You can't buy a ticket for it. You got to have the product to get in. So, but it was by choice. If you wanted to download it, that's cool. It was available on that pit for free. So I'll just, clown it online.
Did you have the concert already?
Nah, we setting it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I downloaded it on that pip.
That's cool.
Sorry.
That wasn't the first time you did that, though. You've had Bullets Ain't Got No Name 3 for sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you remember that for sure.
I remember that because it was midnight, and I was like, I'm going to get Nipsey's new joint. And then it was like, you got to pay for it.
We're so spoiled. But it is true because you put out the Crenshaw, the mixtape, and it is like an album. So sometimes it's difficult. You're putting out all this music with great guest features and producers and Ninth Wonder and Rick Ross is on it and Slim Thug and everybody. And it's like, damn, I got to give it away for free?
Yeah. No, I mean, we get money off the other side of it, like touring. You already know that, merchandise and all that. So it was really just to get people talking. I want everybody to be like, why you charging $100 for the album?
Right.
What makes it, in his mind, worth $100? So that was what the idea was, but it sold out, so that was cool too.
That's right, and then Jay-Z went ahead and bought 100 copies.
Yeah, shout out to Jay for that, for sure.
So that means he gets to come in the concert free.
If he want to. He could have done that without buying them, you know what I'm saying? But, he got 100 tickets if he need to, yeah.
Have you hollered at him since he made that purchase?
Nah, I didn't get to holler at Jay. Rock Nation reached out and, you know what I'm saying? Not on no deal type of stuff, but just, just was like, handle the business, shot the loot over and all that.
They wired you the money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Send it right to your account?
Exactly.
And you shipped them the CDs?
Yeah, the next day, for sure.
What made Jay-Z do that, though? Was he he's a fan of yours, or what?
I can't say, man. Honestly, I got a DM from B-Dot and Elliot Wilson that was just like, Hov said he saluted the thinking behind the $100 album and all that. So I was like, for sure, tell him good looking. And then Rock Nation reached out and was just like, one of his homeboys, Emery, was like, send some clothing. He wanted to buy some clothing.
Salute to Emery, that's our guy.
Yeah, for sure. So we shot him a box of that for free, too, because they spent 10 racks with us already.
So you had to give him something free?
Yeah, And,
I thought you said you had some Crenshaw stuff for...
I did, but no matter of fact, I still do. KC, what's going on? We got shirts left, right?
Throw it on Casey. Casey's like, no.
Nah, we did. It was so much stuff that got added, but I'll ship y'all whatever. I talked to Envy on the Twitter and all that.
No question. Where did you get the idea of charging $100 per CD?
You needed a new chain?
Nah, not just that, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I got a few mentors that just put me on books and literature and all that. Big Bob Francis, one of them. And so, he told me about this book called Contagious.
Contagious,
Yeah, so I got to the second chapter of that, and it was just talking about how this restaurant owner in Philly started selling Philly cheesesteaks for $100 out of his restaurant. And it just was like, it set off all type of conversation. Everybody was talking about it. Then all type of influential people came through him and just wanted to check out why it was $100. Like Oprah came through and bought one. David Letterman bought one. He got all type of exposure and publicity, and then it became like a staple, and everybody started coming through supporting, buying a $100 cheesesteak. So I put the book down, and I was like, yeah, we about to do that with the album. Nobody did that with music,
That only works if it's worth $100, though.
Yeah, the music gotta live up to the price eventually when they get it, and I think that I was confident in the music. It's not the album, it was stuff that didn't make Victory Lap, which is my album, but I felt like we recorded all of that with the album in mind, so it wasn't like recorded as a mixtape, you know what I'm saying?
Now it's like art. It's like investing in a piece of art or something like that. Yeah. I would assume.
Yeah, it's the art don't really cost that much that they as it goes for. The oil paint or whatever the texture or the material is ain't worth no $20 million. It's the way it's interpreted. It's the way people, you know what I'm saying, the value they got for it in their mind.
Now you were signed to Epic Records.
Yeah.
Now you're not on Epic anymore.
Nuh-uh.
Now are you gonna stay the independent route? Because we know that Ross was hollering at you one time. I'm sure Jay-Z didn't buy those CDs as for nothing. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a holler game at one point.
That's right.
Are you gonna stay independent or sign to a major?
I got like a unique idea as far as my deal that I'm looking for, and so I'm not really gonna go negotiate. I'm gonna just present my terms, and if somebody feel like it's beneficial to what they doing and it makes sense, we'll partner up.
Now what happened with Ross? Because I know he wanted to sign you.
Yeah, no, Rose was like, man, he could make whatever deal happen that we needed. I'm like, I don't want no money. I need a partnership, you know. And so he fought tooth and nail inside the building and tried to push it through. But just the structure of the companies was like, they not really up for giving artists ownership and equity. They more like you can stand next to dude, he hot. You know what I mean? We'll cut a check, but you can't own nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I really wasn't in it for that.
And he said that you kept telling him he can't wear red around you.
Nah,
he
I
didn't
ain't
say that.
There were a lot of other artists
that
that tried to holler at you and sign you as well, not just Rick Ross.
Yeah, we had a few combos. I wouldn't say a lot, but we a couple, you know, artists that have executive positions also reached out. And it wasn't, we just talked about it because they knew I was a free agent and we had something going on.
How do you feel about signing to another artist, though?
I mean, I think it worked for some people. I think me being in the game, having a major deal, being pushed to the extent I got pushed to already, being educated on the inside of the building, I don't think that that's the route I'm going to go. But it worked for others. I think we see success, like people that popped off doing that.
Snoop was trying to sign you early on, too, wasn't he? Or was it just more of a co-sign type thing?
It was more like whatever. He like, man, if you need me, holler. You know, he wasn't necessarily like petitioning to sign me. He was just like, man, I know what this is. You know what I'm saying? It's familiar. I know what to do with it. Or like just if you need advice, whatever, hit me, you know?
You move like Snoop, man. If Snoop was a gremlin and he got wet, you seem like you'd popped off. Dude, though, man.
Nah, that's the homie, man. You know, he from the same culture. He from the same element. So, you know, it ain't. It's like a New York dude. You a hustler in New York. You kind of might have the same mannerisms or like, you know what I mean, movement as another hustler from New York.
Speaking of culture, what do you say to people who say you're a stereotypical West Coast rapper? Because I don't really understand that, because I think people see the new face of the West, the Kendricks and so on, and they look at you and they're like, oh, he's a stereotypical West Coast rapper. He wears chucks, he does the lowrider thing, he gangbangs, but that's the culture.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't like you might have to come to LA to like it ain't necessarily what is stereotypical, like, you know, represent the reality of what's going on. I would take that, you know what I'm saying? But if you listen to what I say in my music, you know, really listen to it, you'll understand the, you know, individuality. But it's real. I come from Crenshaw and Slauson. I come from 60th Street. You know what I'm saying? I was raised where the movies was inspired by.
The rolling 60s.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't vice versa. We ain't watched the movie and like that's what we gonna do. They came to the hood and asked could they film at our liquor store. We used to ride our bikes to it. You know what I'm saying? Asked could they put cameras up on our buildings where we hustled at and when we fought in the back of the buildings at. So, you know, it wasn't like life imitating art. It was just like they covered it, it got exposure. But that's really what, you know, goes on and what it is.
What do you think about West Coast music now? Because I know one time the only way to basically get out on the West was Dre.
Exactly.
And now it seems like it's opened up a little bit.
Yeah, I think everybody worked hard for it. I think everybody put their work in. A lot of people stayed down when it wasn't popular. Me being one of them, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that when I came in, the West was where it is now, but I was distinctly LA.
Well, you just had a bad name, Nipsey, man. You was the man that was always late for video shoots, not coming, not getting on the plane.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a real situation I was coming out of, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, like, you know, that ain't no excuse, but, you know, like I said, I wasn't doing it in a vacuum. I was doing it from the perspective I was on the run when I got my deal. I just got out the county jail. You know what I'm saying? I had real issues in the streets. Not that any of that matter, but you know, sometimes that's the gravity that you fighting against. You know what I'm saying?
When I was in LA, when I used to be in LA a few years ago, I used to be like, yo, why Nipsey Hussle ain't popular? And they was like, because he's too hood. So he was too wrapped up in the hood.
I mean, not by choice. You know what I'm saying? But like, I had gave up on rap music. I was cool on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people came to me and was like, bro, do it. Like, John Shapiro was like, I got a situation for you. And I was like, he set up studio time. He chased me down, like, man, get in the studio, bro. You got, because I devoted myself to it at an early age. And like I talk about, I was in the streets. I had money, I had spots, and I sold all my jewelry, sold my cars, and bought studio equipment and devoted myself to it. And I made a lot of music. Majority of the stuff that was on Bullets Ain't Got No Names 1 and 2, I made before my deal. And we got hit, we got raided. They took all my equipment. My brother went to the pen. I caught a case. And I was just like, you know, I was devoting my energy to positivity. And I felt like, you know, to no avail. Still, we ran into the same roadblocks that I could have been in, you know, in a better position financially. I could have kept grinding and just might have still had the same outcome. So it kind of.
You sell crack?
I mean, crack, that's an old drug, you know. That's like from the 80s.
It's so old school.
Yeah, you know. Nah, but I was like, I'm cool on it, you know. And so the music I had done it still existed. It was still out there. It was still on MySpace. John Shapiro heard it. He came to LA, met with me at the Beverly Center, and was like, man, I could make this happen. And I was skeptical of the industry. I was skeptical of industry people. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. And he was serious, and I didn't recognize how serious he was until he put a deal on the table, and it was a check. And I was like, you know, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, and I remember he brought you right to me, and I mean, we had you all through the clubs in New York.
No question, early on.
Now, also, how do you feel about Kendrick Lamar as far as, you know, the control verse and him being the king? How do you feel about that verse?
I heard the reaction, you know, from the culture, from the people. So whenever you move the people that much, you know what I'm saying, you gotta respect it. I know Kendrick, I'm a fan of him. I know he worked hard for his position. You know what I'm saying? I know he deserved everything he got. I know them dudes come from like a real place. J-Rock, Top Dog, Kendrick, he from Compton, and other dudes from the Nickersons. And so like, you know, I sagged with them before. I've been on tour with him with Game in 07.
What does that mean?
Just like, you know, like grinding with him, like, you know what I mean? So
sag, I think all y'all got your pants hanging down.
nah, like, you know, sag it out, man.
Right.
Like grind it, you know? And so to see it take the, you know, blossom like it blossomed, you know, I salute that. I respect it.
How do you feel about him, his representation of the West Coast?
He represent himself, honestly. He's a dude from Compton. So, you know, again, you just gotta be true to yourself, I think. You know, you can't try to adjust what you are to what people expect from you, none of that. I think that's when you know you're gonna get slack and it's gonna be fake. He himself, like what you hear in the records, that's what you get when you meet him, when you talk to him. And before he popped, that's how he was, you know what I'm saying? So I respect it, that he took it to that height without watering down what his message was.
Right.
Now, why does Complex Magazine hate you, man?
Nah,
They do not what? They don't hate
just one
him.
of the 10 underachieving
They might ask first.
artist list.
Yeah, nah,
that's just disrespectful, I think.
No,
Yeah,
they
that
don't
list
hate
was disrespectful, but that's their platform, so they're entitled to their opinion. And I didn't like lash out. My team saw it, and my team was like, "You see this, Nip?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Well, the way they try to describe it is that they feel like they supported you, and they, you know, really like you as an artist, and they felt like you should be further along, and that's why they said that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. I ain't asked for the support, by the way. You know, I ain't asking them to write about me or none of that. That was their choice, you know.
Right.
So again, that's what they got the outlet for. But when I seen the article, it was like I read it and I was like, oh, cool, that's how they feel. I never said nothing about it.
You felt like they were being sarcastic.
Yeah, just like, you know, again, I spoke to the points that offended me in the article, but I was really just like, you know, how much you get paid? The writer that wrote that. I pay them type of salaries to my employees at my business that got felonies and that can't get jobs. No disrespect. So who's the underachiever? I own my company. I own the asset of this whole industry, which is your masters, your intellectual property, you know what I'm saying, your publishing. So, you know, your metrics and what you gauging as an achievement is actually like a peon or an underboss way of looking at it, because, you know, like, I'm not in it for the fame. Everybody want to be seen and held at the highest regard, obviously, but, you know, you can't cash that out. You can't take that to the bank. Well, you can in other ways, but, you know, what's the asset? What do the labels do it for? They do it for the ownership. They do it for the catalog, for the mailbox money. And so, you know, I think if you up on what's going on, you will respect that. You wouldn't say a dude underachieving for that.
Yeah, for years I've seen Nipsey Hussle out and about at all kinds of conferences, and I see you move around all the time.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, do you think that labels were a little nervous about your street affiliations, and they're like, okay, we don't know, you know, what's going to happen with him. If we sign him, is he going to go back to jail? Was that ever a real concern, you think, when people were looking at you?
I think like the people that's so far removed from like humanity, because you gotta meet somebody before you come to any conclusion. And you know, some people so successful that they just got layers and they got blocks to where they don't even deal with certain things, you know what I'm saying? So, and again, like when we had issues, you know, on the street level, you had people in offices that was conscious of it and aware of it. And you know what happened with Suge, and you know what happened with Death Row. So I think people might have, you know, overreacted and felt like it was gonna be a similar situation. But again, you know, the game changed. Like, we in control to an extent. You know, we got the internet, we got a global village that we could deliver content to. You know what I'm saying? And it's worldwide. And you could tour and you could sell your merch and you could build businesses. So if you're not stuck on, you know, being a fame junkie and being some type of socialite, you could look at the game for what it is and eat, you know what I'm saying? and you know, build something that rides slowly.
You still move around with Big U? Like,
Yeah, that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? You know, he don't manage me no more, but that's my homeboy. I got respect and love for him.
Absolutely.
Now, what about for your album that you're putting out? What is? I know you're gonna put it out in a different kind of way. Also, I'm sure you have a plan.
Yeah, most definitely.
That is not gonna be what other people have done in the past.
Yeah.
So, are you willing to share what the plan is with that, or is that something that's still in the works?
Nah, we got the plan. We're gonna do it traditionally through physical retail on iTunes, but then we're gonna do a Proud to Pay campaign like we did with this one. And we're gonna offer it for free also. We're gonna offer the album for free. So if you wanna download it free, you could. Because it's still gonna be free regardless if I offer it or not. Somebody gonna leak it, it's gonna be available.
You can't stop that.
Nah, so I'm gonna just keep it 100 with the people. It's gonna be free if you don't wanna pay for it. If you wanna pay for it, we're gonna have a Proud to Pay product that go along with it. And if you want to go to iTunes or Best Buy or Target, you could do that too, you know.
Have other artists approached you and said, I kind of want to do something like what you did, so
Most
do you mind if I go ahead and try to do a little Proud to Pay campaign as well?
Eminem doing that now.
I was about to say, a few artists approached me and then a couple didn't. Like, I think MGMT doing something, you know, the management, like the rock band, they doing something. And then Eminem selling his at different price points for like $300. For the deluxe, 50, 200, and so on.
They out there damn mind. I specifically put on Twitter, all right, I salute Nipsey, but if all you other artists try to do that, I'm not paying that much money.
A lot of people
We
would
didn't even
say
pay that for Nipsey.
No,
This my dude.
This my guy.
Man, it's all good.
But I support him, but I'm too cheap to pay
other
$100
artists were like,
for
man, I wish
cheap.
I'd have thought of that first. I heard people say that.
Yeah, me too.
Who would you pay $100 for?
I did actually recently. We did something with MTV, and I went to the store. They gave me that credit card and was like, buy what you would like to buy. Spend $100 on whatever you like to buy, music-wise. So I bought Dom Kennedy album, Get Home Safely. That's my homie.
That's your dog,
Yeah. I like what he doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of him. Also him being my homie. And then I bought Blueprint, the 12-inch Blueprint. I brought Stillmatic. I brought one of the Tupac singles. I couldn't find no album. I bought, I think, What You Do for Love. I bought a Raekwon album. You know what I'm saying? Just rap that I grew up on, influenced by and stuff.
What do you think about music now? Because you're talking about a lot of classic albums and a lot of classic artists.
Yeah.
What do you think about some of these artists now?
I think it's good, man. I think, you know, it's a lot of great music. I don't know if everything that's great is getting seen on the highest platform. Kendrick being like a representation of real hip-hop, being like one of the biggest dudes in the game. I think that's good for the culture. Even Drake, like, he a real rapper. People say what they want to say about him, but he make, you know, he good at rap, you know what I'm saying? So I think he represents the culture. Meek Mill, you know what I'm saying, being a real dude from the streets, succeeding at the level he's succeeding at. So I think it's good. You got a lot of BS also, but we ain't gonna point that out or focus on it. I think it's more creativity and good stuff coming to the, you know, rising to the surface right now. So, you know, it's exciting.
Aren't you African?
Yeah, my dad from Africa, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he from East Africa, a country called Eritrea.
What?
Eritrea, it's next door to Sudan,
okay.
Ethiopia, it borders the Red Sea, all that.
Have you been back there?
Yeah, when I was 18, actually, I went for 3 months, and it was cool. At first, I was ready to go home. So
You went there for what? As I had to get low, try to go, or you just went to visit?
Not even. I was good at that point, but you know, my granny that I had never met, my aunties, my cousins, I never met any of my pop's family. My pops was the only one in our family that was in America, so I was raised by my mom's side, and then my pops played his role. But we went out there to meet her because she was sick, and I ended up spending 90 days out there, you know, and it changed my life. It changed my perspective on a lot of things, especially more than anything, my respect for women, you know, because I was raised in a area where, you know what I'm saying?
Bitches ain't but hoes and tricks.
Yeah, that part, you know what I'm saying? But I went back home and I had a totally different experience, you know, and I came in the house and they had food ready for me, and, you know, they wouldn't let me lift my hand and do no work. And they was like, literally, when I came in to eat, they washed my hands for me. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt obligated to, you know, do my part as a man. Like, you know, can't nobody disrespect my cousins. Can't nobody, you know what I mean? They don't got to do no labor, no hard labor that men supposed to do. And it just, like, made me aware of the dynamic of a real family relationship.
Right.
You know, we come from broken homes and all that, so.
And you have to make these American women be more domesticated like them African women.
I mean,
And then men got to handle their responsibilities.
that part
like they
too.
do theirs.
Yeah,
Here
that
comes
part
Charlamagne.
too.
Go ahead, Charlamagne, say what else you want to
No,
say.
I'm just saying, I ain't never had no girl wash my hands for me.
Nah, but
That's
if you
all.
go back, you will, and you'll be like, all right, well, I ain't got no problem. You know, if you need something, you got it. It's cool, or whatever. You like she said, you'll understand your role a little better. Not you per se, but just, you know.
I like tricking.
I can
That's what
see.
we talking about?
Yeah.
I don't mind a little. I don't mind. You know,
Now last week he went to
worth it.
DC Howard Homecoming. He put some money on girls' books.
I retweeted a tweet he put. He like, I ain't buying no $100 album. And 2 lines later, he was like, you know, I just tipped $100. I'm drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all know me. Hold on now.
Yeah.
You know me. You know I had to be drunk.
Charlamagne is so cheap.
Yes,
Charlamagne don't even pay his part, so that's cool though.
No question.
Now, why the Malcolm X chain? You know, a lot of rappers have their own face. Shout out to Ross or, you know, something else. Why Malcolm X?
This was a gift. My brother gave me this. You know, he made this before we had any rap situations and all that. And he gave it to him. He went to the pen and he was just like, you know, you can have that.
Oh, he was a jeweler?
No, he bought it and got it. He designed it himself.
Oh,
but you know, he brought the idea to the jeweler. They made the mold and then put it together. And my brother type like,
so Malcolm X means nothing to you.
I'm not gonna take the credit for making it. I didn't make it, but I wouldn't wear it if it didn't mean something to me. I respect what he represented. I respect, you know, the any means necessary philosophy. I respect his transition from being a street dude to being somebody that had discipline and stood up for like, you know, a cause that was real at the time and still real. You know, and I just think he was a outside of like the racial thing. I thought he was a real man. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that part of it.
Dope.
Yeah.
So what does it take for Nipsey Hussle to finally get his just due?
I mean, we eating good, so, you know, fame and attention, you know, I think that, you know, we gonna continue to rise. I think that we gonna keep making moves and we gonna be good, but, you know, I ain't in the fame race, you know what I mean? Like, I'm more so concerned with owning my situation first and then making that as big as I can make it, you know? So if you look at like Birdman, even Jay, you look at like artists that in control, they had to go the long way, they had to take the stairs, you know what I'm saying? And you deal with turbulence and stuff, but, you know, I think I could do what I do with the best of them in the game. I just had to set my situation up the right way and build my foundation.
Because a lot of artists are content just being artists, and right now you have to be multifaceted and be able to handle your business. Some people don't have their business correct.
No question, you know, and that's what's important to me, because a lot of these dudes, you know, at the end of their career, it'd be hard for them, and they still famous. You can't cut the lights off. Your face known, and if you don't handle your business right, you walk through the mall, you're gonna be disrespected. You know, your baby mama getting at you foul. It's bad for a lot of people that, you know, didn't handle their situation right, was getting drunk every day, partying, and just feeling the moment. Right. And not to say we don't do that, but, you know, I just think, you know, like attention and fame is a crazy thing. You gotta be conscious of like the expectations. Like you can't ever fall off. In my opinion, you know what I mean? It look bad.
Are you in the game cool?
That's my homie, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my homie. I just did 2 records on his mixtape, okay. Yeah, that's my homie.
I'd be wondering, because, you know, you blue, he red. I'd be wondering if y'all can even...
Man, we grown. We gonna do what we want, man. If like, this the thing they don't know about L.A. You only got rules if you're not respected. Like, you can wear what you want if they know your pedigree already. What color? You can bring a enemy to your hood. He with me. He straight. Whoever he is, he with me. He good. So vice versa. Unless you're not respected in your area, then, you know, people gonna prey on you and you gonna get treated how you get treated. But if they know your resume and you solid, then you can do what you want, as long as you ain't violating and overly, you know what I mean, disrespecting what's going on. But, you know, everybody in L.A., if you a Crip got a blood they cool with, they get money with, or another Crip that they hood beefing with that they cool with, they get money with, or else they living in a box, you know what I'm saying? They not really, they at like a level 1 level, you know what I mean, in the situation.
You ever have to G-check any rappers? Because, you know, every rapper seems to have some type of affiliation, or claim to have some type of affiliation.
Man, it's crazy. Nah, we ain't never had no problems with no rappers, honestly. You know, you might have to like straighten somebody out, you know. I ain't never had to put hands on nobody, no rappers, you know. But
I'm saying, you see somebody throwing up a C or something, like, oh, you really Crip or whatever?
I think they more so do it to try to like, Nip, what up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, bro, cool.
Some people don't understand how serious it is either.
Yeah. You know, you hear a lot of rappers cousin and blood in their records, but, you know, it's a difference between doing it, you know, on record and being from the lifestyle. And so we already know who the real ones is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we appreciate you joining us today.
Nah, thank you.
And you better come back up here, man. It took you too long to come up here, man.
No, man. I needed a reason, though. We was working for a long time, so I think it makes sense now.
That's the whole point. The more you come up here, we know you got a project out. That's what we want.
No question. Thank y'all for having me.
All right, it's The Breakfast Club. It's Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join The Breakfast Club.
Blast off in your ear.
Weekday morning, 6 to 10.